Greetings and welcome to post 10 of 14 in our series on nurturing your relationship with food. Yes, I know it's been a minute, but I'm here now. Today's love nugget is a sensitive issue. But again, remember these nuggets, these gifts, are for the purpose of giving you another perspective and information by which to move your healing forward or to question what you've been doing that's not healing you. Same difference. So anyway, today's love nugget asks the question, is your attachment to your diagnosis impeding your healing? Is your attachment to your diagnosis impeding your healing? I ask that because somehow we get a diagnosis, whether it's clinical or reoccurring, a diagnosis that our body continually gives us, that we ignore or we self-medicate. We attach to it as part of who we are. So, of the things I want you to take away from this love nugget and begin to heal yourself are these three things. 1, you are not your diagnosis. You are not your diagnosis. 2, your diagnosis is for the sole purpose of your healing. It's merely additional information that your body is giving you to indicate something needs to change. And you have the power to change it. 3, your diagnosis is also an indication that your life is out of balance. Again, your diagnosis is an indication that in your living, something is out of balance. So, what I'm going to leave you with, because I really want you to focus on your relationship with food in a different way, because how you nurture yourself is how you create your standard of living at a very basic level. So that said, how do you begin to heal yourself? Well, you have to look at how you're fueling yourself. Just like if you have a car, you have a luxury car, you're going to put the recommended octane level of gas in it so that it runs properly. You're going to read that manual. You're going to take care of that car to the letter of the law. Well, your body, that's your cell that moves you through this life. And it requires the same standard of consistent quality care. So looking at how you nourish yourself, what are you eating? What are you eating consistently? Not for the times that you rally, but consistently, what are you eating? Is your diet full of processed food? Are you a vegetarian or vegan? However, there are very little vegetables or fresh vegetables. You eat tofu, tempeh, potatoes, rice, pasta. How frequently are you actually eating fresh food and not slathering it with some type of dressing or other condiment? So at the very basic level, you can begin to heal yourself from any diagnosis by focusing on how you're fueling yourself and improving your digestion. You improve your digestion, and everything else will come into line. What else? This is a hard one because it is a sensitive issue, and it's not just dependent on how you eat, but we have so many areas in our life that impact how we function that we forget that. So fueling ourselves, how we feed ourselves is so important, because the other areas of life that impact us greatly are our finances and our career, work, family, and relationships, whether it be our children, our spouses, our partners, our friends, the level of joy and happiness in your life. So those things have their own metaphysical manifestations in your body, which is why it's even more important that you nurture your relationship with food. Because if you can fuel yourself properly, then you can heal yourself properly. So when those imbalances present, it doesn't take you out. So again, the 3 things I want you to remember about your diagnosis, and this is not a quick fix at all, is just food for thought. 1, you are not your diagnosis. 2, your diagnosis is additional information for the purpose of helping you heal yourself. 3, your diagnosis is an indication that in your living there is an imbalance and you need to address it. I want to go on and on and on because somehow we've let the Western medical industry dictate to us our living, and we attach onto these diagnoses that are mostly junk diagnoses and can be healed if who's providing us care understood what a healthy relationship with food truly meant. So I'm gonna cut myself off because this is one of those soapbox kind of issues, but I hope you got the 3 things that I want you to know on your way to healing yourself. 1, you're not your diagnosis. 2, your diagnosis is for the purpose of healing yourself. Rather, it's a clinical diagnosis, a diagnosis you got from a doctor, or a serious diagnosis that you get from your body. Gas, bloating, headaches, migraines, heavy bleeding, cramping, leg cramping. All those things are diagnoses, and they're an indication that something in your life needs to change. 3, your diagnosis is an indication that in your living something is off balance and it needs to change. So you have those 3 things. Start researching you. Don't rely on anything externally without questioning what's happening before you. You have the power to heal yourself. You just have to choose your tools wisely, which is why nurturing your relationship with food is so important. As with anything, it takes research, practice, commitment, practice, love, patience, practice, and time. I know that was a lot. Live simple, live well.